Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast, your one-stop shop for television, movie, video games, comic books, book reviews, and more. Now, without further ado, here's Steven and Mike.
You go first. I go first.
Did it over the top of them.
You did both at the same time. That's awesome.
Sure did.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone show. We are so excited that you have joined us today. My name is Stephen Boster. I'm your co-host along with my illustrious, wonderful, good friend, Mr. Michael Shanks. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good morning to all you geeks out there in Geekdom land. And I think we got some extra geeks in the chat here, or in the video with us here today.
In the show, that's right. Yeah, Mike, why don't you introduce our great friends, please?
All right. Yes, it would be my honor to introduce Brien and
Hello.
Derek and Marc. And believe it or not, I had to read your names to make sure I got it. From Three Geeky Dads. Podcast.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on, guys.
Awesome.
Oh, this is going to be great. Now, many of you are watchers and listeners, or especially those who are online, Facebook and YouTube and Twitch, will see comments from these guys. They've joined the show several times and have always put in some great insight. And I have to admit, very funny anecdotes. We've laughed many times. Well, get ready, everybody, because today they are with us. And this is we're probably not going to, I know I won't be talking first. I bet this is the last you'll probably hear of me because we will be laughing the whole time.
Yeah, we've been looking forward to this for a long time. I think I think Brien might have been the first one to approach me. I don't know. One of you guys approached me.
Yeah.
And,
I found you guys, and then I turned these two on to you guys. So
awesome.
Yeah. I said, hey, check these guys out. They're funny. They're good. They got a good show.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. And we love
you
your
guys.
show.
Yeah. Well, hey, why don't you guys
Thank you.
talk about your show? Like, where can people find you and how can people connect with you guys and listen to you guys? Because you guys, your podcast is a hoot and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
Who wants to go?
No, Brien, you got to list them off. Come on.
All right.
Old school.
This is your time.
Old school.
Well, we're go old school. Well, we're three geeky dads, and we've been doing this for almost 4 years now.
Yeah.
We're now in our fourth season, and we can be found at www.3gdpodcast.com. That's www.3gdpodcast.com. We're also on every platform pretty much that you can find podcasts at. Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Deezer, Ghana, we're everywhere. Amazon Music and Audible. We have also got a Facebook page. Check us on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We even put our audio out on YouTube. We don't have a video like these fine gentlemen, but our audio is pretty much everywhere. So that's us.
Nice.
That's us.
Nice. Now, talk about what kind of topics you guys do, because there's something unique about the perspective each person brings.
Marc, you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. Well, each of us has like a passion in a specific genre, which is really good because we try to each bring something to the table every week or so. So Brien, for example, is super sci-fi, super Star Wars. Like, he's our science fiction guy. Derek's our comic book guy. Most notably Batman. He's probably the biggest Batman fan I know. And so he likes to he
Listen, I'm trying to lose the weight. I just can't, it's hard.
And
Derek, when we said we wanted to see more of you, that's not what we meant.
And so it begins
already.
And of course, Marc is.
And I'm a horror nut. So anything horror, all kinds of horror, and but we all share.
We all cross over. We're not just limited to our one
comics and everything. So
it's nice because a lot of the stuff that a lot of the horror movies and things that we've watched on the show, and even some of the sci-fi stuff that we've watched for our episodes, I was never exposed to. I'm the youngest one, and there's a lot of them I hadn't seen, and it's nice because we all kind of like share our interests, and it's opened up a whole new world to me, and I'm sure the other two. I would like to think
we're well-rounded geeks. Like we each have our niche.
Listen, I told you.
Derek is more well-rounded than the rest of us, but we, like I'm not just limited to sci-fi. Like I like comic books and horror. I love, the Marvel and the DC stuff. I and Marc too. He watches like the old school sci-fi movies, and he's turned me on to a lot of stuff. Derek likes his horror and his sci-fi, and we all like bounce off each other. And it's great. We have a good time, and the conversation just flows, and sometimes we stay on track. But most times we don't.
Sometimes,
as you guys know, I mean, I've listened to your podcast, and it's easy to get derailed. Yeah. Like we call it the bipolar express. It's just pulled into the station. We go off and
off the tracks.
Off the tracks. So
I like that.
Yeah.
Now you guys are missing somebody today, right?
We are. Yeah.
Yes.
Tito Rivera joined us just this year. He and Marc did a side podcast called Monster Serial, where they talked 80s and 90s horror. And that one, it kind of, did it fall apart, Marc? Are you guys?
No, it's kind of our hold because on hold, excuse me, because one of our other co-hosts is in school, and it's just been super busy with school right now, so he just hasn't had the time to put anything together. And so Tito has the podcast bug, and he's been a guest on our show before.
He has,
frequently. And finally, I was just like, dude, just come on our show, be our moderator. We need somebody to pull us back, because what's going on?
Exactly.
And he's the one that says, guys, come back down. So,
exactly.
And
he was saying
he's
earlier,
a perfect fit. He meshes well with our dynamics.
So he does. Yeah, he was a great guest, and we were really glad to have him on a permanent basis. And we're three geeky dads, but even the Three Musketeers had their D'Artagnan. So Tito's our D'Artagnan.
Yeah.
I love it.
Good. That's a good reference.
Yeah.
We're just really bad at math.
We are. And actually, we've already paid for the domain 3GD podcast. So we're not changing it.
Going anywhere.
So what you guys told me when we met that you're now calling it 3GD plus T or NT. Okay.
Yep.
I like that. I thought that was
it rolls off the tongue. Yeah.
Well, and
now for our normal listeners, they know, Mike, the reference when you say Megan is our Tito. Now everyone gets to know that connection. Megan, thank you so much for being our Tito. We appreciate it. Yep. And Angie, Angie is here
Tito,
also.
thank you for being our Tito.
It isn't easy.
No. Hopefully he's listening. He couldn't be here today, but hopefully he's listening. He's able to listen.
Well, hopefully he can join us next time. So.
Absolutely.
Great.
Well, I have to open up and say this, Marc. Mike is trying to get me to do more horror stuff, and
they should.
Megan says the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. So they got me into the whole Halloween. We watched Halloween Kills this last year, and
I love Brian's reaction.
Oh, that was Marc. That was Marc.
Evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight.
Evil indeed dies tonight.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All I could think of was Princess Bride. Stop saying that.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Inconceivable.
Yeah. Go ahead, Stephen.
Oh, no. So it's great. So now, Mike, you have Marc as an advocate for you for more horror stuff. So we'll have to have you guys back on as you're introducing me to more and more horror.
Stephen, maybe you should start with like some horror comedies. Maybe an easier entry. Start with like maybe a Fright Night or American Werewolf in London or the Frighteners even.
Fright Night. That's
yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of good horror comedies.
I've got a list for you. You just say the word.
Yes, we'll send you an email later, Stephen.
I want to hear more. I want to hear more horror on this show now.
Okay, all right.
I need to read the comments section too, because if it's Star Wars, forget it. I don't know what the heck to say. Us and some Evil Dead, then. You never shut me out.
That's funny. Angie says Angie says, I will take a hard pass on the horror stuff.
Oh, come on, Angie.
Ridiculous. Angie. After all we've been through together for the past 15 minutes.
Well, growing up, I was a big horror fan, especially like the classics, like Frankenstein and Dracula and stuff like that. But then, as I got older, I got into like Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween and stuff to that extent. And then as I got married, had Megan, the horror kind of went away because Brenda wasn't into the horror. So I kind of put it off for a long, long time. Well, now Megan and I kind of bond over some of it. There's some of it she watches, and I'm like, yeah, I don't even want anything to do with that. But yeah, Halloween, the two of us love Halloween, so we bond over that. So.
That's my favorite series.
I'm still a big fan of that franchise, despite the last one, and even the last one, I'm still going to go back and watch.
Oh, sure,
because it's just laughable. And the worse the horror film, I find myself watching it more.
Yeah, so, Mark and I are huge fans of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh yeah,
we love to riff on movies too, just like those guys. So I mean, if it's bad, like the comments will just start coming. And we've even done a couple of shows like that on our podcast where we'd watch a movie and comment on it. Not so much riff, but I mean, we do have our segment where it's Drink Till It's Good, where we're not actually watching the movie at the time, but we take a really bad movie and we try to see if the alcohol makes it better as we discuss it.
Which I loved your Masters of the Universe one.
Thank you. Yeah.
That was
a fun episode.
That was the first time I had heard you guys say "Drink Till It's Good."
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, I got to listen to this one. This is hilarious.
Oh yeah. We got some good Christmas ones this year.
Yeah. Oh nice.
Yeah. We take like the bottom of the barrel stuff from Amazon, and we'll drink till it's good at the holidays. So.
A few years ago, my wife,
eggnog is flowing.
A few years ago, my wife and I went and seen Doctor Who, the 25th anniversary Doctor Who, the Five Doctors, in the theaters as the Mystery Science Theater 3000. Or well, they don't call themselves that anymore.
Yeah, Riff Tracks.
Riff Tracks.
Right. Yep. So it was a special. Oh God, I can't talk.
Tequila in the coffee, Mike.
Yeah. I thought about putting some Baileys this morning.
It is. It's only a few days after St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah,
have to honor the high holiday.
Hey, Megan, what's in my fridge is mine. Megan just chimed in. That's my Baileys. Anyway, yeah, we went and seen that in the theaters. That was a blast.
Cool.
All right.
Well, everybody, so we are 13 minutes in, so I guess it's already time. We better start hitting our topic.
That's right. Oh, we had a topic?
All right. Who knows if we'll stay on it? We'll go.
That's how it goes on our show too, guys.
Right. All right. So everybody, what we're talking about today is we are getting ready to see the new Doctor Strange movie, Multiverse of Madness. So this is kind of the beginning, like how we did with Batman, everybody, is, how we did a couple of series to get us ready for the Batman movie. We are going to do the same thing with Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Now, many of our regular listeners know I am not a multiverse fan. So this
sacrilege,
right? So this should be an interesting day. So anyway, so we're here to talk, just kind of discuss all these things that we think are leading up to the new Doctor Strange film. And just recently the new the Spider-Man No Way Home just got released on digital. And so a lot of people have said that has a lot to do with what's coming.
It does.
And there's some other things that the Three Geeky Dads had brought up, saying, hey, there's some other stuff too. So I'm excited about our discussion today, even though it is multiverse. But I thought, you know what, this is going to be a fun time. So guys, thank you so much for being with us. I am excited to talk multiverse today, even though I'm not a fan of multiverse.
Maybe you will be by the end.
Maybe.
I keep trying, man.
We'll turn them.
Although I think I started to turn the tides with Flashpoint because I forced him to watch the Flashpoint animated series.
Oh, that was great.
It's so good.
So I think
really good.
Is turning there.
What about the Crisis on Infinite Earths, the CW series that they had a couple of years back, where they did all the crossovers? And
you mean the stunt
that might be something to get into. Yeah, with this, the stunt casting special.
just remember a lot of those animated ones. And now the Flash one is on point. That's a great one. But a lot of the
on
DC,
Flashpoint.
Yeah. But a lot of the DC animated, sometimes when they're they're based right off of a comic book, they have a tendency to mess it up. So yeah, Derek can tell you
it's hit or miss. Yeah, there's definitely you guys have talked about it a lot on the show lately, like the Hush and but there's some gems out there. Flashpoints, I think one of them. I think they did that one good.
Yeah, I agree. So in preparation for this, I prepped for this. In preparation for this, I rewatched Doctor Strange, the first one from 2016. I rewatched the Marvel What If Doctor Strange, which is that is a great episode.
It is
probably
really good one.
The best of all the
that's what Derek was saying too.
Agreed.
Oh, so great. And then Spider-Man became available on digital.
Yeah.
I think it was Thursday.
It was this week sometime. Yeah. Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah.
I purchased that and I rewatched Spider-Man.
Me too. I did the same thing. I couldn't wait.
Oh, me neither. That movie is so good.
Yeah, it really was.
But now I got to say, Doctor Strange, I wasn't a huge fan of Doctor Strange. Of course, I'm a little bit more of a DC fan than I am a Marvel fan. So I tend to prefer Dr. Fate over Doctor Strange.
I think Marc would agree with you too.
Nice. But I've really come to really like the character Doctor Strange over the last several years. And in fact, when that movie came out, I was just like, I don't think I'm going to go see it because I don't know anything. And I don't know if I have any interest. And then Megan and I were looking for something to watch one night. And she's like, hey, Dad, Doctor Strange is on Disney Plus. Or I think
it was Netflix.
Yeah, at that time it was Netflix. Sorry. And I was like, okay, let's watch it. And I was like, man, this is good. This is a really good movie. I was so impressed with it. So my knowledge of Doctor Strange up until that point would have really been back in the 80s, the controversy between Doctor Strange and Christian singer Amy Grant.
What's the controversy?
Oh, nice. You guys don't know about
No, we don't know the story.
So actually it was in the 90s. It was I think it was 1990 actually. Amy Grant and her association, however you want to say it, they approached Marvel with a lawsuit because Marvel featured her face on the cover of, I think it was issue 19. See, I had looked this up and I had it in my head, but anyway, they actually had her face on the cover of one of the Doctor Strange issues. And she was supposed to be representing Doctor Strange's girlfriend, who was in the 1800s, a real life like voodoo artist. Priestess. So Amy Grant was not happy about her portrayal in the comic book.
I can understand then.
Right. It makes sense. It doesn't fit well with her Christian image.
Nope.
So they could not actually sue for the rights because they didn't own the rights to her photograph. The photographer owns the rights to photograph. So basically they were just saying they were suing and wanting her image removed or the comic book removed from the shelf. Which they said at the time was kind of pointless because the comic sold out so quickly. And it was like, well, technically it's already off the shelf.
Yeah. Now, did it sell out because of the controversy, or was it
Honestly,
was it a popular book at the time?
I think it was just a popular book. I don't think. Now, I'm sure the controversy added to the value.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
I didn't check the value today. I don't know what it's up to today. Actually, I would like
Marc, call Jay at Rubber Chicken and find out.
I bet it would be up there.
Yeah.
Steven, you say something?
Oop.
Oh, we lost Steven.
Uh-oh.
Steven's talking, but we hear nothing. Nope, we don't hear you.
Nope.
Nope. So, You figure that out, dude, and we'll go on. So that's my introduction to Doctor Strange. Like I said, I knew nothing of him. I mean, I knew of the character,
right? Same here,
but I really didn't know anything about his powers or anything like that. So 2016 movie was my introduction and was fantastic.
Yeah. I think it was with a lot of people too. I think your story is pretty much the same as a lot of people's. I know it was for me because Doctor Strange was always just like one of those background characters that would pop up. I never read his solo stories, but he would team up with the Avengers or Iron Man, or he'd be in a Spider-Man book, Marvel team up or whatever it was, and that was pretty much it.
I kind of think that might be where he's a good fit as like a team up,
Yeah.
But again, I don't read his books, so I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe as a solo.
Well, he's like a go-to character, like when they need information or help on that topic on
the spiritual
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, Steven went out and he's coming back.
He's coming back. Okay.
The issue was the vampiric versus Doctor Strange.
What do you know?
Angie had found that it was 15.
Oh, look at that! Yeah. We got a team of Tito's.
Angie did pop in a little while ago. Yeah.
Oh, nice. So, now you guys rewatched the What If also.
Yep.
What did you think of What If?
I loved it. I mean, I thought it was a great story, and it was cool because it reminded me a lot of. Do you remember the remake of the Time Machine movie with Guy Pearce from the 90s?
I actually have never watched it.
Oh, you should check it out. It's a fairly decent movie. But it was kind of the same story where, like, in that version of the Time Machine, his fiance gets killed, and he invents the time machine to rectify that. Because he was supposed to propose to her, or get married to her very soon. I mean, after that, so he created the time machine so he could go back and fix the night where she gets killed. But every time he does, she still dies in a different way. So then he's like, well, screw this. And he goes forward in time. He's like, well, I'm going to forget everything, and that's when he meets the Morlocks and Jeremy Irons. And, it goes in a whole other direction. But the opening of the movie was very much like the Doctor Strange What If, where, he was doing it to try and, correct the night that Christine died. It was Christine, right?
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed that one. And I loved the twist on his origin. I thought that was really cool. I thought it made him just slightly less arrogant that he is. The actual film.
Yeah.
Because like my wife was watching it and she goes, man, he's a real jerk.
He is. He starts off as a real prick. And it's the course of the movie. I mean, he becomes, he obviously learns his lesson.
Yeah.
But it felt like rewatching it last night, I didn't realize how fast it happens. It's kind of rushed. And I think it's probably because that it is an origin movie.
It is. But his story kind of parallels like Tony Stark's too, where Tony Stark was an arrogant prick at the beginning, and over the course, he becomes more compassionate, and he becomes more aware of what life is really about, and what he needs to do. It's not all about an egotistical doctor, just like Tony was not all about making weapons.
Right.
So they each had a part to play in this bigger story, and it's cool. A lot of people criticized it when it first came out that it was too similar to Iron Man, but I still liked it. I like the mystical part of it. It's kind of like that dichotomy. You've got science versus technology. Technology versus magic, and I always like that.
The mystical.
Yeah.
Steven's got a voice again.
Hey, Steven's back.
Yay!
Yeah, there was actually a series of books, or at least a couple of books by this author called Roger Zelazny, and he had a wizard versus a technology guy. They were brothers, and at the end they pitted against each other. Like one went off and he was like steeped in magic, and the other one was creating like robots and these giant machines, and they ended up having to pit. At the end they were at each other's throats. Science versus magic, and it was cool, and I kind of like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that, Steven. We got somebody with real knowledge in here.
Wait, is there somebody behind me? What are you talking about?
You got somebody talking in your ear,
That's
informing
it.
you.
Yeah. Oh, now my secret's out.
But help me, Stephen, with the Sidernak or the Shakespeare, where he whispers everything into somebody's ear or whatever.
Cyrano de Bergerac.
Cyrano.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cyrano.
Yep. Yeah. There's a movie coming out, or is it already out with Peter?
It's already out.
It's already out.
Is it already out? Yeah. The Peter Dinklage. Yeah.
Yep. Cyrano.
Yeah.
Yeah. I prefer the Steve Martin Roxanne version myself.
Yeah.
Right on. I love it.
I love some Steve Martin.
Absolutely.
Yep. Well, I had not seen. I really hadn't watched any of the What Ifs, and people were after, "Oh, Steven, you got to watch the What Ifs." And I said, "Well," and so I started asking around. I said, with different people, I said, "What?" I really just my time is. I don't have a lot of time. So, which episode do you think is the best? Everybody said the Doctor Strange one. Everybody said. And so I watched it and I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
I think it's the one that's going to have the biggest effect on the overall MCU story. And I actually was surprised because I didn't know that series. I thought that was kind of like a one-off, like the books are. They don't really affect overall stuff. That they're side things like, what if?
Right.
But
They
it
exist in
seems
their own
like,
universe.
I mean, after I realized that the whole season was connected and like it really did end, like the finale had a bunch of those characters that you've met throughout showing up. And I think that I honestly think that it's very much connected to the MCU.
Now, why do you say that you think it's going to be connected? Why?
I think because I think that it's going to be a way for them to bring certain people back. I think that they might do something with Captain Carter. I think that's it's a good opportunity now that they don't have Captain America. And everybody, she's a fan. I think she's a fan favorite, Haley Atwell. So I mean, I think that there's. I know that they're doing a second season as well. So I think it's just overall with the multiverse in general. I think it's just a good way to bring characters in, and and it works well with the movies because when you need to recast and people don't want to do them anymore.
In the trailer for the new Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness too, they show that the evil Doctor Strange, whatever he's called, shows up. So they bring him in.
Strange Supreme.
Strange Supreme, and even Defender Strange. Which wasn't in the What If one, was he? He wasn't in the one.
No.
Okay, so is the What If one Strange Supreme?
Yeah,
the evil one is called Strange Supreme. Yeah.
Did they actually call him Strange Supreme though?
Yeah, in the What If they did.
Okay, right.
I don't know if they did in the comics, but
I like Angela's comment, the Cthulhu Strange. That's what I was thinking too, Angela. All those tentacles.
Yeah, apparently Angie has a What If action figure too, which I didn't even know they made any of.
No, I didn't either.
Oh, cool.
Oh no, wait, I did, because I did see the what was it, the Hydra Stomper figure.
Ooh,
that was the alternate Iron Man with Steve Rogers in it.
So now,
actually, they had a Lego series too. There was a couple What If Legos.
Yeah, they had a couple of the What If zombie figures were out too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, zombie Captain America, all of that.
I am missing so much stuff. I'm going to have to really hide some stuff from my wife soon.
Well, now that you said zombie, in the new Doctor Strange trailer, there's a zombie Strange in that too.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering where in the world we're going with that. Or are we just going to have...
It's the multiverse. It's all going to come filtering in,
That's why I think that's especially that episode is going to tie so much into this, because I think with all the different versions and maybe we'll see a cartoon Strange. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw out a question for you guys. This has come up around before the pandemic, and we actually had people gather in our lunchroom at work. This is a topic that come up every once in a while, but could there possibly be a Wolverine, a zombie Wolverine? Is it possible?
Oh, it's possible.
Oh, yeah. Why? Oh, because of his healing factor.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right.
Interesting.
See, my thinking is you can't have a zombie Wolverine because he heals.
They would heal. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cell would
It all
regenerate
depends on
and
how
kill the
fast
virus.
the virus acts on the body as opposed to his.
But I will say there was an issue of What If that I have called What If Wolverine was Lord of the Vampires?
Mm-hmm. You gave me that one to read. That was a good one.
He is turned into a vampire by Dracula himself. So now vampires and zombies, kind of sort of the same idea. So if he can remain a vampire, could he remain a zombie as well? I mean, I don't know if it's two apples and oranges or what, but if his healing factor,
it turns into one of those situations of, well, actually, you know, like.
now, for those who are listeners, what Derek did was he put his finger in the middle of his nose, like someone who's pushing against
the glasses up.
Now.
Doing the old comic book guy routine.
Yeah, worst comic book ever.
There we go. Worst comic book ever. Hey, I actually did it.
There you go.
I've been trying to do that one since we started the podcast, and that's one I haven't been able to get out.
Yeah, you have mentioned that a couple of times, and I've always said, Mike, it's easy.
Yeah.
Just sound arrogant.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean sound like Doctor Strange?
There you go.
Sound like us. We do it.
But if Doctor Strange was working in a comic book shop,
I just need a sound clip of it.
Well, yeah, but if I can,
exactly.
If I can do the voice, I'd rather do it.
Worst
series ever.
Mark does the most voices on our show. I got a lot of training to do.
Yeah.
Well, mine's more or less George Lucas. That's
right. Yeah.
Yes, it is, and you do it very well. I will say that. Yeah.
Well, I have to confess, technically, mine is an impersonation of Jason Swank from Rebel Force Radio doing George.
Yeah.
It's not directly George Lucas.
Sometimes a parody of a parody is the best.
Right.
Way
There you go. This is good.
So I got to give kudos to the masters. So
right on,
awesome.
Right on. So, what you guys think of Loki, season 1?
I loved it.
I liked it. I didn't think Mark didn't like it as much.
This was it was the only one of the series I really didn't enjoy very much.
Well, that was getting a season 2 as well, so stick with it. Maybe it'll
I will
setting up bigger things.
Because I'm sure we're going to do an episode on it. So
I'm sure we will.
Mark doesn't like when villains are painted in a good light.
Yeah, I don't like villains turning good all the time. It's not, occasionally it works, but I don't like when the villains have this sympathetic quality to them. I like when the villains are just, they're nasty. I like when they're nasty villains and they enjoy what they do. And, you know, that's just.
I try to tell him that Loki was like that in the comics. He's not bad. He walks the line.
Yeah, there's a big gray area.
Yeah.
So it's not like they changed him from the comics.
Yeah, they didn't do it. Yeah, just because. I mean, it's easy to think that way because of the popularity that Hiddleston had. Everybody loved him, and I think that they took advantage of that, and that's probably why they went with him for this show, and maybe working it in that way.
What were you trying to say, Mark?
I don't remember now.
It happens all the time. Yes, Angie.
Penguin fell off the iceberg.
Yeah.
So Angie said,
"Chaotic neutral." All right.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, he was more. I think what Mark is saying too is that he was more fun. Where he was like that villain that you just love to hate.
Yeah,
he was he was charismatic. But he was more fun when he was making trouble for the Avengers and kind of like siding with the Avengers.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with Mark.
Occasionally it works, but more often than not, when I find that the villain is all of a sudden so likable or has a reason or a sympathetic reason rather why he's so evil, it kind of takes away from the mystique of the character. Much as I love the Killing Joke, and I do love the Killing Joke, I kind of prefer the Jack Nicholson Joker because he's just an evil guy who has an excuse after falling in acid to be totally unhinged with no morality whatsoever. And in the Killing Joke, you kind of feel bad for him because of his backstory. You see where he's coming from. He turns into a psychotic maniac, but you kind of understand. And I don't want, I think it's more fun when you don't know why these guys are bad and do what they do. They just do it, and that to me personally just makes a more interesting character. I think that was my problem. That was my problem with Loki.
Yeah, I agree, but because I want my good guys to be good and my bad guys to be bad. That's what I need. Now, I have no problems understanding a villain's backstory, but I don't want a sympathetic one. In other words, like you said, the Joker, he fell into acid and then he snapped. Okay, cool. Like, because it seems to be a trend with villains today, even in Disney films. Remember, we got Maleficent. We've got, all these, they're trying to give them, all
Cruella.
these villains something. No, Cruella, right. I'm like, while interesting, I'm like, no, I want to hate the bad guy. I mean, come on, Game of Thrones, Joffrey. Gosh, I hate it.
Okay, you guys just completely off script ran with a topic idea I had that I threw out to my wife last night for the show.
Okay.
And literally last night I told her, I said, I want to do a villains episode.
Nice.
And I want to discuss the fact that villains are being watered down today. Especially like in the last 20 years. Right. And just like you said, Steven, even Disney's doing it with Maleficent. And
with all of them.
Next thing you know, they're going to put out like a Claude Frollo movie, and we're going to feel bad for that guy.
Sometimes you don't want to know how the sausage is made. It just is what it is.
Exactly. Well, now I used as an example of a perfect villain actually is Palpatine from Star Wars.
Right.
The Emperor. Because if you go back and you read Darth Plagueis, he was evil since he was a child. He was nothing but evil. There was no good. There was nothing in there to go, oh man, this guy had it hard. No. He was downright evil. And then if you look at Darth Vader, when we were all introduced to Darth Vader in 1977, we thought that was Vader. And then, granted, I like Anakin. I like the prequels and I enjoy it. I know you guys aren't.
We have mixed feelings.
Right.
I mean,
it's your show, man. We're gonna be good.
Let's just say there are good parts of all of them, but on the whole,
agree. No, but they did the same thing. Lucas did the same thing with Anakin. He gave him this, sympathetic background.
Yeah, and you don't need that.
Right, exactly.
Even with the first Doctor Strange, they did it because Caecilius is his backstory of he lost his wife and kids, and that's why he went to Comitage. Comitage, and and then he just wanted to his whole drive to find Dormammu and use the Dark Force, like it was kind of sympathetic. I mean, he was a bad guy, but like the backstory for why he became bad. Like I agree with the fact that we don't always need to know why they went bad. Like sometimes it's nice to just have a bad guy.
You just need
there
an
are
antagonist.
Some characters where you can have that kind of arc because they were introduced that way from the start. And if you want to have a bad guy that did have a sympathetic background from the get-go, sure, that's cool. That works sometimes.
Right.
But going back to what Mike saying about Darth Vader. Darth Vader was my favorite thing about Star Wars when I was a kid. He was scary and he was awesome.
Everybody loves a bad guy.
Everything about him was evil up until Jedi, and then when Jedi happened, you realized, oh, there was some good in him, and that's really all you needed at that point. When
there's still good in him.
Those darn prequels, because of those prequels, all I can think of when I try to go back and watch the originals are Gippy and Are You an Angel? And he built C-3PO. And
that was stupid.
Oh, he had a mom named Shmi. His mom was Shmi.
Oh, no. There's something worse than her being Shmi.
What's that?
And that's Palpatine. Now, I got to admit, they gave him this name in the novel, which ticked me off. But in the novel, they named him Sheev.
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 That's his first name, Sheev.
Yeah, his first name is Sheev.
Yeah.
But it's spelled like Shiv. Maybe that's what they were going for. Everybody else is pronouncing it wrong, you know?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be fearsome.
Don't tell me his first name. I
It was a very tiny lightsaber.
Yeah.
It's better than George or Charles, you know, like
yeah. Shecky Palpatine.
Oh my God.
Unfortunately, it looks like it's just going to continue because, I mean, Scarlet Witch is pretty much set up as one of the main bads for the second movie.
That's right.
And
really?
we all know, because of watching WandaVision, we know what her drive is to become bad.
Yeah.
And even in the trailer, she points out how unfair it is that the two,
she messes with the timeline.
Yeah, exactly. They double standards. So it's like, all right, I already sympathize with Scarlet Witch. I want her to tear the multiverse.
And I like how he turns.
I'm
to
rooting
her
for the alligator.
I like how Strange turns to her in the trailer for because he doesn't know everything that's going on. So he turns to the other big magic user in the Marvel universe and asks her what's going on.
About that scene too in the trailer because she says. What did she say? She says Bruce had a because she's talking about Bruce, right? Bruce Banner, but she talks about him in the past tense, which is a little weird.
Really?
She said Bruce had a theory. She doesn't say Bruce has a theory.
Viz.
I think she said Viz.
Oh, Viz.
She's saying Viz.
Yeah, I'm with Brien. I think
she said Viz. She was referring to the Vision.
Oh, all right. That makes more sense because she didn't really do a lot of hanging out with Bruce Banner. So yeah.
No, Derek, you really need better headphones.
Wow, Dad. now I'm. You know what? Zip.
See,
Derek, you really need better headphones.
The problem is Derek doesn't have the headphones that we've got, Brien.
That's it.
Hey, the headphones I have are coming back in style.
Yeah. Oh, that's a Twin Peaks reference. I got that one. Mark, did you?
I never watched Twin Peaks.
I got the fancy new invisible headphones.
There you go.
They are nice. They are nice.
True AirPods.
Now, I did not see WandaVision. I have not seen it.
WandaVision was good.
You got to see it, Steve, especially before you see. It leads directly into this one. So I think if you're not going to watch certain things, at least watch that.
Yeah. I agree. WandaVision is essential for the upcoming Doctor Strange. So
that's the problem with Marvel in general, because like even Mike, you said you hadn't gone and seen Doctor Strange originally, and like they're all connected. So it's like I'm a completionist anyway. Like regardless of whether they're connected, I'd probably end up seeing them all just to see them. But like I think especially with the multiverse, everything from Disney Plus, I think all. Was it 5 shows now? I think
something like that. Yeah.
I think they're
and right
them and all the movies that have happened since Endgame. They really are leading up. It's all been building in the multiverse in general. I think this is just going to be our first I guess Far From Home was. No Way Home. This is all phase 4. First taste.
This is all phase 4. Like the first half of the Marvel, the MCU was all leading up to the Infinity War. And now that that's all done, now they're going into the cosmic direction.
Yeah.
So everything's all multiverse and everything's going to start tying into that. So
and they pepper things in and
right.
And they put things that you think are small and insignificant. And I think that's like one of the genius things that I've always loved about Kevin Feige and the way that they've been doing these is that they'll put things in that you don't think anything of until later
and then
on.
They build on it like 2 movies down the road.
Yeah, 5 movies ago, that's right. He was there, and with the end the after credit scenes. And actually, I was thinking because I was curious as to why Baron Mordo is possibly on the Illuminati in this movie, and yet in the end, the very end credit scene, the second after credits scene for Doctor Strange, it's him going to Pangborn and taking his magic.
Pratt's character,
and he makes a point saying that there's too many sorcerers in the world.
Yes,
And
exactly.
so you're led to believe that he's going off on this quest he's just going to hunt down other sorcerers and take their powers.
And he's eventually going to come after Strange.
Yeah.
So he's doing the Order 66.
He is. Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It all comes back.
Yep.
Right.
Steven, it
now,
rhymes.
Now there's a villain. Crap, we got a drink now.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
I knew you were going to do that. I knew.
Yeah, that's a hard prediction.
That's the thing. Yep. It's poetry.
Yeah, we all have our catchphrases.
So, Mark, let me ask you. This: with Mordo, with his villain, you kind of understand his backstory to a certain degree. Now, I don't think he's a sympathetic villain as much as I think he's a moral dilemma villain that I really enjoy.
There's there's kind of he has this sense of, it's sort of like a Ra's al Ghul kind of thing. He has a vision of what the world should be, or what the law should be, or the order should be, and I think he'll go along with it as long as he agrees with it. But if you in any way go against any of his ideals, then he'll turn on you and say,
well, you broke the rules. Yeah, you broke the rules, so you got to pay the consequence. What does he say? The bill comes due. What is he?
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
eventually the bill comes due. You can't mess with the dark magic without facing the consequences. So eventually,
and so do you think that's what's happening with Multiverse, the Multiverse of Madness, then, based on the trailer?
Much so. Yeah, because even the Ancient One was drawing from the dark magic. So maybe Steven is too, unwillingly, or maybe subconsciously willingly.
Well, and even like Wong says in the trailer, like him playing with the playing with time.
I love Wong.
And against what they're supposed to be guarding, which is it's been, and thankfully we've had it explained to us as an audience a few times now, where the Ancient One explains it in Endgame when with Bruce Banner, and when she shows him the timeline of taking the the consequences of taking the stones. Remember?
Yeah,
and all these different things, and Spider-Man did it where these things have consequences, and it's supposed to mess with that order. And I think with Baron Mordo, he's very much a black and white character. There's right and wrong. There is no gray area.
Yeah,
and we live in such a gray area world nowadays. Yeah, that it's easy to paint those people as as villains and bad guys, but.
He's got his own moral compass, as twisted as it might be to everybody else, but he's following that line. He's going right down that path, and he's going to start eradicating sorcerers.
Yeah, but I love that actor too, by the way.
Oh, Chiwetel Ejiofor, he's great.
Wait a minute. Say his name again.
Yeah.
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah, right.
Can't say that.
He was the operative in Serenity.
He was, and I loved him.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he was also in Love Actually, and a couple of was it Hotel Rwanda, 12 Years a Slave? Maybe he wasn't in Hotel Rwanda.
I know he was in
12 I think he was in 12 Years a Slave. Yep.
But now
he's a great actor.
Is he in it's on Paramount. I just got Paramount Plus so I could watch Wrath of Khan for an upcoming episode.
Nice.
Is he in Infinite movie? I was going to try to watch it, but I can't get I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't seen everything that he's in, but I like him a lot.
Yeah, I really like him.
He might be.
Now, I liked what you said, Brian, when you said that his moral compass is messed up, but
to everybody else, but maybe not to him.
Right. But that's what makes a great bad guy.
Agreed. As misguided as they are, they think they're doing right.
Right. Exactly. Some of your best villains are the ones who are set on. I'm doing the right thing. Yeah. I'm the right one.
Yeah.
You're the wrong.
Exactly. Magneto is a perfect example of that. He's got his vision for the way the world should be. Xavier and his team definitely don't agree with that vision, but Magneto is going to do what he's going to do to fit his perspective, and to everybody else that's evil, but to him that's the way it should be.
Right.
And sometimes he comes around, but he always seems to go back, like how many times has Magneto teamed up with the X-Men, as a good guy, or for whatever intents and purposes, like maybe the X-Men aligned a little bit with the, Magneto's worldview, so he's like, well, okay, this will ultimately fit my end goal, and I'll team up with them for the time being, but eventually we're going back to being adversaries.
Right.
So the X-Men too is a tricky thing, because it's always been kind of a mirror of a racial justice.
Exactly.
Very much a Malcolm X and a
or LGBTQ, whatever you want to fit into it. It's always the misfit. It's always the outcast. Not saying that, I don't want to, use those terms, but, it always seems to be that way with society. So
Geeks and non-geeks.
Geeks and non-geeks. Exactly.
I mean, I would actually,
Them.
I would agree with the racial aspect of it because it was started in the 60s, but at the same time, there was this whole geek and non-geek or nerd and non-nerd type thing.
Yeah. And my how times have changed. Because now the geeks have
The
inherited
geeks have inherited the earth.
Exactly. Well, Steven, doesn't the Bible say the geek will inherit? Oh, I'm sorry.
It says,
what did he say? I think he said, "Blessed are the cheesemakers."
Yeah. I got that. I know that.
No, the peacemakers.
Blasphemy. That's Life of Brien. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yep. That's funny. Yep.
He gave us a sign. He gave us a sign.
The people in the back
boy, if
couldn't
my
hear Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount. Speak up.
if my pastor friends realized I watched Life of Brien, I would have been excommunicated a long time ago.
Oh my gosh, Life of Brien is hilarious.
It is hilarious. It is hilarious.
That's kind of a hidden gem in Monty Python.
It really is. Yeah.
I mean, the Holy Grail gets all the praise and glory, which it should. Holy Grail is fantastic.
Oh, that's the Holy Grail of Holy Grail movies.
Right, exactly. But Monty Python is that hidden gem that you find, and it's just so so hilarious and irreverent, and oh gosh, it's the best of Monty Python.
It is. I'm a Meaning of Life fan myself. For some reason, that's always.
Oh yeah, you like that one? That was probably my least favorite, but it's good.
Really?
It's
got the fish at the beginning. Hey,
I know.
That's the best.
No, there are some good parts in it.
I like that. I don't know why.
Probably because certain segments that I can fast forward.
Yeah, it's more sketch comedy. Like maybe that's.
It is. Yeah.
It is.
A little more like the television series than one of the movies.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, they're all good. I like them all, so it doesn't matter.
And now for something completely different.
Yes, now for something completely different. Yes, exactly.
That should be the title of your episode tonight, guys.
Right? Really?
We might have to change it, Stephen.
We just might. Well, speaking, let me get back. Let me get back to Mordo.
Thank you.
I'm just going to be a hard turd.
Even the Geek Wrangler.
That's right. I love it.
Stephen's new title.
That's right.
Well, one of the things that Mordo says in the trailer that I thought was really interesting is he says, the most dangerous thing to the universe is you, Dr. Strange, or Strange. And stuff.
Yeah.
So is that where, do you guys think that's where he is bringing in the whole Strange Supreme?
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be. Because he inadvertently opens up the multiverse and quote unquote strange things come through, including, Supreme Strange. So.
Well, I liked how when we were talking, I think it was when we were talking the other night with you guys, and you guys compared Strange now to Tony Stark of the Avengers, because Tony Stark was the one who pretty much was bringing on the destruction of the universe by creating Ultron and so on.
Yeah. There's so many times that Tony messed up, and they had to correct his mistakes.
Of course, now Strange looks like he came in and said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah. And even that, like Derek said, these little seeds that Marvel plants and they pick up later. Like even going back to the first Iron Man movie, like they had the destroyed first proto armor in the desert that they picked up the pieces, and Stain ultimately created the Ironmonger, and now we're going to have like the the Armor Wars series with
nice, Angie.
I had to put that one up.
Angie said, it's just for listeners, Angie said, instead of hold my beer, she said, hold my stone.
Nice. But they're going to be doing the Armor Wars series. So it's going to pick up on like people stealing Tony's technology, and using that for evil. Even though he's not around, it's now going to be War Machine and Rhodey in that series. And I remember the comic book series that they had. It was like maybe a half a year run in the original Iron Man run of comics, where it was the Armor Wars, where even the government had taken Tony's technology without his knowing and were creating heroes, and he even went after them. he's like, no, this is my technology, which you
I
saw
didn't know
in
about
Iron Man
this
2.
storyline.
Oh yeah, the Armor Wars series is
Yep.
coming out, and I'm looking forward to that. So this is like little things, like Derek said, that Marvel, peppers throughout, and they pick up those pieces and they run with it.
So do you not think they're going into Ironheart then?
Oh, they are.
Oh, they are.
They're going into Ironheart.
Yep.
But whether that factors into the Armor Wars series, because now she's got his technology.
So now here's the question: Who's going to be the new Iron whatever?
It's going to be Riri Williams.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because we haven't had any introduction to Riri.
Not yet, but she is going to. There's a show that's going to be. They're going to have an Ironheart show.
Yeah. I almost wondered.
They've got the Ms. Marvel coming out. We don't know Kamala Khan yet in the MCU, but it'll probably be her show with her.
They're building towards a Young Avengers as well,
right?
Yes, absolutely.
Which I'm psyched about.
Okay.
And that's
Steven, me too.
I'm a huge Young Avengers fan, and I've said it a million times.
Yeah.
I love Kate.
Because you've got Kate taking over for Hawkeye. You've got She-Hulk taking over for Banner. You've got Ironheart taking over for Iron Man. So they're all being replaced because you got to figure, like, these actors too can't play these roles forever. Right. There's only so much de-aging that Disney can afford.
But that's what I mean as far as the multiverse too. Is that, like, once this continues on and gets bigger in the story, you can recast roles. There's rumors, I don't know how true it is, and it would be really cool, but there's a rumor that in the multiverse, in Doctor Strange 2, that Tom Cruise has a cameo.
I heard
as
that
Tony
too.
Stark,
and the
whole reason why that plays in is because he was originally in talks to make the first Iron Man movie a long time ago.
Yeah, that's so. See, it's all stunt casting. It all comes back to stunt casting.
No.
But when you have all these different versions of these characters, you can recast it. Same thing that DC's doing. It's almost like this. The Batman series that Matt Reeves is doing is a separate little, what if multiverse kind of thing.
Yeah.
And and then they're combining, they're picking and choosing. We talked about it the other night, actually, on our show. They're picking and choosing who they want to do. Like with the Batgirl show, they're going to have Michael Keaton in it, but it's not necessarily the same 89 thing. They're just using him, and he's there, and Flashpoint is going to set that up too. So
well, now I think that you're wrong on that. I think that the Michael Keaton is connecting the 89 Batverse to the current DC universe. I think that is.
I don't know though, because the Commissioner Gordon, and actually I thought Commissioner Gordon in that show was going to be Jeffrey Wright, but he's actually going to be in the Arkham Asylum GCPD show instead.
Oh, okay.
But it's the one from what's his name? J.K.
Simmons.
J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the Commissioner Gordon. So it's like you've got the Snyderverse Commissioner Gordon with
DC
the 89 Batman.
Is even more confusing than the Marvel multiverse now.
It is.
It is, right.
But it shows you that's what I do like about the multiverse and the idea of the multiverse, that anything is possible.
Yeah.
And you can retcon things, and you can fix things that people didn't like. You
could try out something new and then erase it. Like, oh no, that was
exactly.
That's what Steven doesn't like.
I hate that. Well, I've got no problems if you have different actors in a different storyline. I get that. Okay, let's talk Batman for a minute, because I love me some Batman. Mark, I'm right there with you. Yeah. So let's talk. If you've got Nolan's Batman series, I get that. That's totally fine. Now we have Reeves' Batman series. I get that. We've got so I'm okay with those.
The Joker universe too, from the Joaquin Phoenix movie too.
Yeah, exactly. And
there's
I'm
another
okay
one
with this because each one is its own pocket dimension. It's when you start taking one of those series and then doing all the multiverse story stuff within it, without really, for me, it's just lazy storytelling. It's like, I can't think of anything else, so we'll just use the multiverse concept just to do something, rather than each one, if it has its own world, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the different Batmans, and with those films. It's just where I think people get lazy. Like I used to watch Stargate, love Stargate. Every time they did a multiverse one, I was like, oh, come on. Did you run out of ideas? Come on, this is a great universe.
Right. I'm going to push back on you, Stephen, though. Are you
push on, brother?
Yeah, I'm going to. Are you going to look at the current Marvel universe? And like Brien said, they've planted these seeds from years back. You're going to try and tell me that that's lazy story writing? That I disagree with you. Now, can it be used in a fashion of that? Yes, I agree. And both Marvel and DC have been guilty of doing that. I totally agree with that. But what Marvel is doing right now, that is not lazy. That's some pretty in-depth writing there.
And it has purpose. It's not
purpose.
Just doing it for like eye candy. Like I'll be the first to admit I disagree, Stephen. When I look at the multiverse stuff, I love the idea.
I have my people here.
It's Keaton, but it's J.K. Simmons. It's eye candy for me. But with Marvel, it's real purpose. I think a big part of it is just it's the best way possible to incorporate all the things that we haven't legally been able to do with Marvel, right? Because other studios own things, which is just the real world BS that unfortunately has hindered them from doing a lot of stuff that the fans want.
Sony now,
so now you can bring in mutants, and you can bring in the Fantastic Four, and you can bring in all these different properties that they didn't have the rights to. And it serves a purpose. It's and I think it serves a purpose with I think using Scarlet Witch as the catalyst for it makes it ideal. It's the perfect situation. It follows through with what you've already had leading into this next phase, and it's not just doing it for just the heck of it.
Well, see, that's the difference. I really like how you said that. It's done with purpose versus just, we'll just throw it in. Because, Mark, I think you got a good point about saying, hey, we've seen seeds of it, coming into play, but you're building a world around it, and there's a purpose behind it. Not just, we'll just throw it in because we can't think of anything else. Now,
but you use that as a crutch and say that's what all multiverse is. That's the problem. And it's not. And I've been trying for the last year to prove to you that that's not the point of multiverse.
Yeah, Stephen just needs to get into more multiverse stories.
What's
that?
Right.
I said Stephen just needs to get into more multiverse stories.
Yes, agreed. Amen.
I guess so. Maybe. Well, look, I'm willing to give this a shot. I'm willing to give it a shot to kind of see where we go with it and stuff like that. But I did not like the end of Loki. I did not like the end of Loki. I enjoyed the whole,
we discussed that.
Here's the buildup, the character development is fine. Okay, whatever. He falls in love with himself. I thought that was a nice, that was funny.
Weird. That was just,
it just shows he's truly in love with himself.
Yeah.
That was very Freudian.
Escalates the narcissism.
I didn't like it in Doctor Who either. So,
but I thought at the end, I was very upset because, all these shows have some kind of really cool ending, and it just fizzled. And by the way, I felt like it was just setting up for multiverse, and I thought that was lazy.
Yeah.
I was like,
I think they knew that they were going to. That's one series I think they knew they were going to do multi seasons of. Where the other ones I'm not sure yet. The seasons might just be setting up the movies, but with Loki we know we're getting a second season. So I think that's why they were kind of leaving you on a cliffhanger a little bit.
Yeah, but let's see. When's the next season coming out?
I know that's the only problem.
It's 2:30 too late for me.
Yeah, I know.
But it's all connected.
There's so many shows like that where now they drop them all at once, and then you got to wait. Like especially with the pandemic, putting the kibosh on a lot of things. Production wise, you've got to wait 2 or 3 years in between seasons now.
Right. See, that's why it should have all been encapsulated in one season. And you can have some tie over. I'm okay with that. But they didn't. It was lost. It just seemed like it was so weird.
Like you would have had enough time to watch all of that at once.
Yeah.
Well, right. I would have had enough time.
Okay. So then you just have something new to complain about. So this just turned into the pick on Steven's show.
Right on. That's all right. By golly, a little friction never hurt anybody.
Don't worry, I'll cry you a little tear afterwards. Anyway,
I'm just saying I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm willing to sit there and Multiverse of Madness. It's probably why I haven't watched. Just thinking of the Scarlet Witch Scarlet Vision is probably like, I've already seen it, or okay, whatever.
Yeah,
no, I've heard it's good.
Yeah, I think you're definitely going to want to see that before.
Yeah.
Okay, I will.
WandaVision's
It's a good show, Steven. It really is. It's
especially the first 3 episodes are really out there, because it is like they're poking fun or paying homage to like TV shows of the past, which is kind of like this pocket universe that she created for herself, where she's living in a perfect 60s sitcom. And then the next episode is a 70s sitcom where it's like the Brady Bunch. It's great. And then in episode 3, when things, the real world starts encroaching on her reality, her version of reality, it gets really interesting.
I'm just glad they're finally giving the character the respect that she deserves, because as much as I love Elizabeth Olsen and I've enjoyed her in these movies, they never touched on just how powerful she is. She was,
I think that's where they're going with this.
So it's nice to see her at the end of WandaVision, the stinger scene at the end of that sets up for this movie, Steven. So it's it's definitely worth the watch.
All right. So what other stuff should we be watching to get us ready for the whole Multiverse of Madness?
Because I totally forgot about WandaVision tying into this.
Yeah, I think from Doctor Strange forward, they've mentioned the multiverse. They've started talking about it, and that's what I mean. Is like in the first movie, they pepper in, that there's a multiverse and all the powers. That's how they travel through the sling rings. Is they go through multiverses. So they've been kind of hinting at it, and I think probably between that, the What If series, the Loki, and
I don't know if you need to watch Loki to enjoy.
Well, no, I mean, I think Loki is important to watch because it introduces Kang and other versions. I think actually Loki might have been the first Marvel product that we got to see other versions of a character.
That's
when
true.
they brought in classic Loki and alligator Loki and all that. I think that came before WandaVision. That came before No Way Home. Now it was like our first kind of taste of, hey, this is what's out there. There's different versions.
Agreed.
Did you guys see the meme a while back with Olsen and her sisters, and it says Wanda and her variants?
I haven't.
That's right.
That was pretty genius.
Yeah. No, I saw the one of the Olsen twins, and it's comparing them to the Dark Crystal characters. Those Muppets.
The Skeksis?
No, not the Skeksis, but the two heroes, the Gelflings. They look like Gelflings. Yeah.
I think they look more like Skellies.
They put them side by side. I'm like, oh my god, it's so on point.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, okay. So we've got WandaVision, the What If Doctor Strange, the first Doctor Strange film.
Yep.
The Loki. Of course, at the very end of Loki, it makes it seem like it's Loki's fault that the multiverse is cracking. But
their
Spider-Man
choice with Kang.
Right. And then it made it seem like that. Okay, well, Doctor Strange did it because of what he did was in Spider-Man. Sure. So, there's all kinds of introductions to. Okay, here we're going to have this multiverse. So, anything else that anybody, guys like me who really don't want to, what should prepare me for Multiverse of Madness?
Steven wants the Cliff Notes version.
Steven, I will say I had zero interest in WandaVision as well. The characters, I just, again, I watched it for the show because we were doing an episode on it, but I ended up really enjoying it, and I do think you will too. And that's primarily what you do want to watch. I mean, all the other things they've mentioned, but that's definitely one you need to see. Sure.
See, that's what happens.
And I think I
want to do this, and I got to watch it.
Right.
Yeah.
And Steven, I like what you made about the multiple people kind of messing with the multiverse, because you do. You have Loki, you have Doctor Strange, and you have Wanda. The three of them, and it really does, like, those three shows are good to watch because you see the three different people messing with the multiverse.
Okay. Yeah, and so far those are the three big magic users in the MCU too.
Yeah.
so it makes sense that they would be the ones that would be like splitting this reality. That we've already seen a little bit in the Spider-Man movie, No Way Home. That was great too, because that all ties in. It's all connected.
I find that interesting, the line that she says in the post credit where she makes the comment, "Oh, you do this and everybody cheers you, and I do it, everybody hates me."
That's right. Yeah.
But I didn't really get the feeling that Doctor Strange has been cheered by this.
I mean, don't think so.
Wong himself's like, I don't want anything to do with this.
Yeah.
Walks out on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and I like how in Spider-Man they touch on how Wong is now the Sorcerer Supreme instead of Strange, because Strange has been away for 5 years.
he
got away, and so yes, and now Wong, Strange calls it. Yeah, he's got it on a technicality.
And I think with Strange, like you talk about, he didn't get much slack for what he's done, but he's messed with it the most because he messed with time to turn back and save the Hong Kong hub and fight Dormammu.
Yeah,
he helped obviously he helped Spider-Man and caused that whole chaos, and so he's kind of it's not his first rodeo with doing something, blurring those lines that Bordeaux likes to draw so clearly. So I think that plays into it.
He's very powerful, but at this point he's also very inexperienced. So even, like in the first movie, Wong was like, you don't want to be messing with an Infinity Stone. And he says, what? He says, oh, you've got a lot to learn, Steven. You may be powerful, but you've got a lot to learn, So, And that was the first time that we all, said, found out that the, at least for those of us that didn't read the comic, found out that the Eye of Agamotto was an Infinity Stone. It was the Time Stone, and it was really cool how they introduced that in that movie.
Now, wait a minute. He still has the Eye of Agamotto.
No, it got destroyed. He says it. He says it in the.
That's right. He does say it. No way.
When
Peter first comes back, he's like, I can't go back in time.
Yeah.
Right. That's true.
That's what Peter Parker wanted him to do. He says, I don't have the stone anymore. Remember? He says, oh,
right.
Yeah, that's right. And that's when he comes up with that spell that Peter starts, messing with. And Wong's like, don't do it, Steven. Don't do it. And he goes off. Right. He goes off to fight the Abomination. In Shang-Chi. And, so, yeah.
That's been another critique I've heard of the Doctor Strange, the Spider-Man movie, was the fact that Doctor Strange is supposed to be, so good at magic, but yet he screws up the spell. Yeah. And I'm like, well, technically he doesn't screw up the spell. It's Peter Parker that.
Yeah.
Because Peter keeps messing with the spell as he's doing it. So.
Yeah, you've interrupted me 6 times, Parker. What did you expect? I've got to contain it in this box.
5.
And at least Strange, tries to rectify it. He does try to go after.
He does.
Peter and stop it and correct the mistake.
But Peter leaves him trapped in the Grand Canyon for 12 hours.
Right. And floating over the Grand Canyon for 12 hours. They look at him and go, we really could have used your help.
Yeah.
But truth be told, he kind of comes in like a dad, who's just, the kids have just made a mess, and he's
he's got to clean
this crap up, and I'll be back.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, he comes in like a dad from the start of the movie when he comes down in his sweatpants and the winter coat and
that's right,
the cup of coffee.
Yeah, it's true. You're right.
I love that.
Yeah. Scooby-Doo this mess.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo.
Right.
That was so good. Oh my God.
Well, some of you guys said that intrigued me going back to Wanda. You guys said she's more powerful. It almost sounded like that she can become a villain.
Yeah. And that's kind of what they were alluding to in the WandaVision show. Like, is she good? Is she bad? Yeah,
because she has a dark. I mean, she's so powerful, and the reasoning behind it is she wants the kids. She can hear the kids in another dimension. She wants to learn.
Spoilers, Derek.
Oh shit! Yeah. Sorry.
Gilman, now I got to put
why you have to watch it.
Yeah. For explicit. No.
Yeah.
But
No, just kidding.
She's a mega powerful.
He said it, you would.
I was trying to gloss over it. I pretend it didn't happen.
You were that close. That close.
Brien, you got in one of my favorites there.
So well.
What's that?
I said, Brien, you got in one of my favorites there. He said
from Young Frankenstein.
Yes, Young Frankenstein. Absolutely.
One of our favorites, too.
Oh, I love Mel Brooks. That's my all-time favorite Mel Brooks film is Young Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
Anyway, Derek, go ahead.
No, but yeah, so she's one of the most powerful.
Spoilers don't bother me. It's okay. So we're good.
She's one of the most powerful mutants anyway. In the comics, she has been. The House of M was a huge story where like she had a mental breakdown and she essentially took away the powers of half the mutant population. It, like altered the world completely. That's the thing is, we've had kind of glimpses of different powers that she has, but WandaVision gives us our first taste of the reality, swapping. She's a living reality stone, essentially. And
that makes a lot of sense too, because what Strange does, he doesn't, really mess with anyone's powers or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So I guess that when you look at it from a bigger picture, what she did was actually much worse than what he has done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, she took a whole town. She takes a whole town hostage, essentially.
Yeah.
Steven.
Right.
She makes this world her own.
Yeah, she completely kidnapped.
She alters everybody to fit her reality. She kind of like takes over their minds, and they're not living their own lives anymore. They're living the lives that she wants them to live to fit her perspective. So yeah, it's really cool that series, Steven. You should check that one out.
I will.
So when you think of it, that's pretty.
I was just saying we'll do a podcast on it because that'll fit nicely with our road to the multiverse.
Okay, absolutely.
Multiverse, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we just came up with another one.
Mm-hmm.
How many episodes is it?
8. Is it 8 episodes?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they've usually been between 6 and 8.
Yeah.
Each of these.
Okay.
Now you just gave me a reason to rewatch it.
I know, me too. I think I want to watch it too.
Megan just chimed in. There's 9 episodes.
Oh, 9.
There's 9.
Okay.
Thank you, Megan.
Close.
Okay. All right. I'll see if I can get it in.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if I could watch Robert Pattinson in the Batman, you can watch the multiverse. I know. I have faith in you.
Here we go.
Well,
come on. He didn't do that bad a job.
No, he didn't. He surprised me.
No, Derek's turned.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Stay tuned.
I was gonna say I don't think I've heard you guys' Batman episode yet, so
it's not out yet. We had technical difficulties and we had to re-record it on Wednesday. So it was supposed to come out last week, but we had to re-record it. We had some problems, so we decided to re-record it this week, and it'll be out this Sunday. So
that's why you always
have to edit it later. Actually,
that's why you always have backup recordings.
I know.
I'll have a secret to tell you after we're done with this.
Yeah. I don't think it was a problem with the record. It was a problem with the equipment. It recorded, but it just sounded crappy. So so we had to re-record it. It was terrible.
We don't want our equipment to sound crappy. We sound crappy.
Yeah, I know.
you need your equipment to enhance your sound.
Exactly.
I don't want my equipment looking bad.
Yeah. I think they make a blue pill for enhancing your equipment, Derek.
Oh no, you make me completely flustered.
Great one.
I took one of those and got stuck in my throat, and all I got was a stiff neck.
But did it last for more than 3 hours or more?
I didn't have to consult my doctor. No.
Oh, okay. Squirrel.
I know. Who's the geek wrangler? Come on, let's get us back.
Right. Sorry, I didn't rise to the occasion.
Oh, but
look at that! It's spreading.
That's what she said.
Getting back to Doctor Strange 2.
Yes, thank you, Derek.
There's also a couple new characters that they've already confirmed and shown, like America Chavez, who's also another like multiverse. That's her power is she punches holes in
reality.
and can travel to the multiverse that way.
Does she make portals? Is that what it is? Because I'm not.
So I think essentially her like she punches the air and it's like using a sling ring, and she can.
So she doesn't have to have a sling ring. She can just.
She just throws a punch. It's
I like
cool.
it.
Very odd
know
character.
nothing about this character.
I don't either. Does she have a character name, or is she just America Chavez?
No, just America Chavez.
Really?
Yeah.
Is she a mutant?
I can't remember. I don't know too much about. She's a fairly new
character.
She shows up in the second series of Young Avengers.
Oh, nice.
I don't remember what her first appearance was, but she's it's multiverse connected though, so it makes perfect sense that she's in it.
Well, if we're getting the Illuminati too, is in the comics, isn't Reed Richards on the Illuminati?
It's Reed Richards, Black Panther.
Okay. I'm so curious how they're going to handle that.
Well, I thought
Doctor
Black
Strange
Panther. I thought his sister was taking over for him.
I thought so too.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
No, but in the comics anyway, the Illuminati, it was a lineup of the greatest minds of the Marvel universe.
Yeah,
I know this isn't a popular opinion, but I think they should just recast him. I don't see why not. Just recast him and have.
I know.
I've felt like that about certain characters before, but I think just because
if they're doing the multiverse, why can't they bring in Killmonger as an alternate Black Panther?
That's a thought.
That would be interesting. Now let me go back to
handle it. And maybe his sister is Shuri is just an interim one.
Well, in the comics, Shuri does become Black Panther, so it's like that's why I'm kind of like I understand why they would go this route and why they should. But yeah, I mean, I think they could recast it, but just maybe it's too soon. Yeah, it was a huge loss.
This is why it's good that there are like 5 Batmans now, because one doesn't happen. There's like plenty of others to choose from. Whereas Marvel has basically right now 1 Iron Man, 1 Thor, 1 Captain America. If they don't want to do it
in the multiverse, Mark, that might change.
Yeah, well, that's probably good, because now it's tough to see any more Black Panther without Chadwick Boseman. He is really good in it, and it's really hard to see anybody else playing if there is an advantage to the multiverse, you can start bringing in other actors to take these roles that that have been solidified by people like Chris Evans and
it's an easy in. I know Steven says it's lazy writing, but it actually is an easy in. It's like, hey, here's an alternate guy.
Well, I liked what Angie had to say. As far as her becoming the Black Panther, that she's good as the techie one. So
well, she's kind of like the Wakandan Tony Stark too, where he was also the hero and the techie guy.
Well, and it wouldn't be the first time that they recast. They've recasted. They recast.
Rhodey.
Rhodey was recast right after the first movie. They recast Scott Lang's daughter, Cassie. And I've actually recast her. She's getting recast twice, because they recast her for Endgame.
Yes.
And then they recast it again moving forward.
Well, they couldn't wait for that actress to age 5 years.
And I think they just went with a bigger. I think the reason why they recast it this time is because they went with a bigger name actress. She's not known to our generation, but they kids know who she is.
They recasted Thor's girlfriend. She was she was. I'm
Natalie Portman.
No, they didn't recast her because she's going to be in Love and Thunder.
Natalie Portman wasn't the girlfriend in the first one, though, was she?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
She was in 1, 2, and then she had a cameo in Endgame.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought somebody else played her in the first one. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else then.
Yeah. No, it was Kat Dennings was her friend.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Cassie Lang is going to end up being, she in the comics she becomes Stature. And she's
Megan
part of the Young Adventures.
With something.
So I think that's why they recast her.
Megan, what were you going to say?
I have a counter argument against Angie's talking about Shuri. She works well as the techie, yes, but that's only with her brother being
the hero,
Black Panther.
Yeah.
Without him, she doesn't have anyone else that could be Black Panther that she would fit so well with. So I want her as Black Panther.
Okay. I agree, Megan. I'm with you.
I'll quit sucking up. You don't have to suck up just because she's my daughter.
Well, she is the moderator, so she could kick us all out.
Kick Derek out.
I don't want my mic muted.
Love you, pumpkin.
She's afraid you're going to swear again, Derek.
Oh.
No more dirty words. No more dirty words.
Yeah, we don't have a bleeper.
Yeah, no.
You can't mute Derek. We've tried. It's impossible. He's like life in Jurassic Park. Derek finds a way.
Finds a way.
Nice way. Oh man. Well, hey, we got to start wrapping up because we are almost at an hour and a half. And
already, oh my God, it feels like 10 minutes. That's all.
I know. I had a feeling this was going to go long anyway. So.
Right.
We have
this
a
has been
tendency.
really good. All right. Well, here's the deal. I will watch WandaVision. I'll get that in.
Stephen, raise your right hand.
I solemnly swear.
Yeah. Solemnly
by
swear.
the geek laws.
Yeah. Swear on this stack of Marvel
I like
comic
that.
books.
Oh, we're gonna have to come up with that.
As Chief Geek Wrangler, I must and will watch the WandaVision.
Are you swearing on a stack of Marvel books?
Right.
That was good.
That's correct. That's correct.
And Steve, get some horror movies in there too for me while you're at it.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute, real quick. What would you recommend?
Make a list.
I know, really. What would you recommend for people here?
What would I recommend? Oh my gosh! Where should we begin? Well, obviously, Fright Night. Fright Night, the animator.
Angie just said Fright Night too. Now wait, which Fright Night?
Oh, he means the original. Trust me.
No,
No, they made me watch that.
We did. We finally got Marc to watch the remake on Wednesday night. Oh my God! Did he kick and scream?
No. Oh God!
I don't wanna.
Remake what?
I had to. And I will convert Angie into a horror fan too. It'll happen.
Yeah.
I think they were right, Stephen. I think like maybe some good horror comedies first to kind of ease your way in. Army of Darkness.
The horror comedies are a lot of fun. Yeah, but definitely see the classics. Anything in the 80s really works. The 80s, 80s horror, in my opinion, is the best, with some exceptions here and there. Definitely check that out. It's so much fun. It's just a fun time for horror films, and they're not too scary. They're not too some of them are gross, but they're so goofy that the gore is fun to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, so isn't Bruce Campbell in Army of Darkness?
He is.
Yeah.
Sure is.
It's the third Evil Dead movie.
Yep.
Evil Dead 2. Army of Darkness.
I'll let the cat out of the bag. Steven and I have plans to do another crossover with Nerdery and Murdery, and we are going to do a horror classic for that one too.
Oh,
all right. We're doing it.
Nice.
I watched it last week. I just watched it. The other day.
I'm halfway through the book now, so I'm still reading.
Holy cow! You're reading the book.
Yeah. Brenda read the book, and Megan's starting to read the book, and I'm about halfway through. I'm a slower reader than that.
We're doing The Exorcist.
I had a feeling. I was going to say I didn't want to speak up in case it was a secret, but I'm like, all right, there's a book and it's a classic horror movie. It's got to be The Exorcist.
Yeah. It's The Exorcist. So
we're doing the half and half. We're talking about the film, the geeky side, but the murdery side, we're doing what we know of the true story behind it.
Oh, cool. Yep. That's awesome.
Cool.
I'll definitely check that out.
And I'm gonna try and come up with some surprises because the real event actually happened in St. Louis. So.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go find the house. Right?
I think you mentioned that.
Sure, give it up, Megan.
Yeah. I think you mentioned that before, Mike.
Yeah,
did I?
Did.
Yeah,
okay.
I think you did. I think when we did the meeting a week ago or so, you mentioned that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Somehow we got on.
Well, now our listeners know.
Yeah, but that wasn't on the air, Brien.
I know. But now it's all coming back to me, Derek. It's know, my 55-year-old
climbing
frame
back
takes a
up
little
on the
longer.
iceberg.
Oh my goodness. Well, hey everybody. So everybody listening, you kind of know what's coming up. We are going to do more episodes on the road to Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Obviously, WandaVision is going to be one of those based upon our discussions today. So thanks, you guys. Also, we are doing more crossover, with Nerdery Murdery. We are watching The Exorcist, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be
You guys
a
are
little
joining
while.
us too, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes, we are.
Good.
And so I'm pretty pumped about that too, man. It's
See, Derek, if you would have came to the meeting, you'd know this.
Listen, I've got the littlest kids, and I put the you could hear them. I'm sure. I tried muting my microphone a few times. It's chaos.
Well, I do want to say this, guys. Thank you, Three Geeky Dads, Brien, Derek, Marc. Thank you so much for being with us. This has been a lot of fun. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've been wiping my eyes because I've been laughing so much. I'm crying.
I know, and I hope everybody learned something too, and in between all the buffoonery.
You mean like a G.I. Joe?
Yeah, and knowing is half the battle.
Right.
What was the lesson? Don't put 5 geeks in the same room.
I just mean about the multiverse. Yeah, and don't put 5 geeks together in a room.
Even though we are across the United States.
That's what I mean. This is kind of our own multiverse going here.
That's true.
Right.
We've got like 1, 2, 3, 4,
I'm in a multiverse.
4 different states. Marc and I in Rhode Island, Derek, Massachusetts. We've got Missouri and Illinois. Sorry, and
and I'm in Montana.
Montana. Thank you.
It's all right. I'm in the St. Louis metro area, so I'm
okay.
20 minutes outside of St. Louis.
I got you.
I identify with St. Louis.
Okay.
Here's what Angie said. The lesson is to stay in school.
Oh, that's what I did wrong.
Yeah. Oh no! Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs.
Yeah, my parents thought I would never amount to anything, and here I have this show. Oh,
that's right. That's right. Yep. Like Strickland, the principal from.
Just say no to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, your last time.
I know.
I went right over my head.
I typed it.
I listened to that episode.
Yeah.
Brian.
I know. Timing
right
is everything. Mine was so off.
It's all right. That's all right.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, this has been great. Again, Three Geeky Dads, where can folks find you on the interwebs?
We have a Facebook page. Just look us up on Facebook. We also have a website called www.3gdpodcast.com. All our podcasts can be found anywhere podcasts are available. We're also on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. I said Facebook and YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah. Now I will say this on your website. What's nice if whatever podcast you like to listen to, just go to their website and just click the link to whatever the one because you guys have it. It's built out very nicely.
Yeah. I can't take credit for that. That's all a template. I found these guys. It's let me see. Podpage put it together. Yeah. They do a great website for geared towards podcasts.
You should have taken credit for that, Brien. That made us look really cool.
Yeah.
Now we're less cool.
I designed it myself.
Way to sell us, man. Way to sell us.
And you can find Marc's artwork.
That's right.
Links to Marc's art and my writing and
Werewolf with a chainsaw.
Yes.
That's right. Issue 2 coming out next month. Finally.
Oh, wait. So where can we get issue 1?
Right now, you can only get it at Rubber Chicken Comics and whatever convention or expo I'm at.
Here in the New England area.
Anywhere else until all the issues are together and we combine them in a trade. But right now, it's still keep. But just contact me and heck, I'll send you one. I'll deliver it to you. I'll come to your house. I'm very old school.
Road trip.
Stuff for me. Yeah,
I'm driving.
Just don't bring a chainsaw with you.
Or a werewolf.
What's the fun with that?
Yeah. We promise.
I don't know. You bring a werewolf with you, I'm going to be pretty excited about that.
We promise not to travel under a full moon.
Right on.
Stick to the roads.
Yeah, stay off the moors.
Beware of the moon. That's an American Werewolf in London, Steve. So
that's right.
Just quoted a horror movie that you need.
Classic.
All right. I always have a pen and paper with me, so I always take
notes.
All right.
Write these down.
Well, Steven, I think we got our Halloween list.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. This will be great.
I warned you.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
That's cool. That's awesome.
This is only just the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. A couple of things. You can check us out, the Two Geeks on a Microphone, at our website, 2 geeksmic.com, to geeksmic.com. There you can find all things to our merch page, our Facebook page, YouTube page, also to our podcast pages, and then also, I hit the wrong button. Here we go. Ko-fi page. We have upgraded our Ko-fi page, so we're doing different things for those that help support us. We appreciate it. Ko-fi has actually gone to a tier system, so you can give us $2, $5, or $10 or whatever, and that gives you access to all kinds of fun goodies that we are building. So if you have any suggestions or any ideas to help us make that section better, we would love to hear it. And
Steven, don't forget, the $2 gets you into Discord.
It does. We just started a Discord page, everybody. So it's called The Geekdom. And so you can check us out there, where we actually have it running during the shows as well, but that makes it membership only. So if we see a question in our Discord section, we will do that one on the air for sure. And so that guarantees you to get comments and stuff. So thanks, Angie, for not doing a whole bunch on there, because we would have been busy all day long.
And we have our first Ko-fi only show over on Ko-fi, which is the first of our classic sci-fi series, and it's the cult classic Logan's Run. Yeah.
Yep.
Megan joined us for that one. Megan read
the book.
Yeah,
wow. Megan, deep dive.
Yeah.
She
really liked the book too. So
the movie's awesome.
I'm glad
you guys tackled that one.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that one.
Early Michael York and
that's right.
Oh, who is Jenny Agutter? Yeah, who also shows up in the MCU.
Oh,
yes, she does.
She does.
Right.
Yes, she does. She's on the World Defense Council.
Nice.
Yeah, she shows up in Captain America: Civil War, I believe. She's the one that Scarlett Johansson's character, the Black Widow, disguises herself as.
Oh, okay.
When they're taking down
Robert Redford.
Redford's character. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That's Jenny Agutter.
Look at that, Brien classing up the joint.
All grown up.
Brian's classing
and
up the joint.
and Brien.
I don't know about that. Yes.
Brien, she's also in
American Werewolf in London.
Nice.
Which Steve needs to see.
That's right. See, so it all comes back. It all comes back.
It all comes back. I love it.
It's like poetry.
It rhymes.
There you go. There's my other drink.
Mm-hmm. I'm out of coffee. I can't join you. This is an hour and a half. My coffee went cold a long time ago, and I was still sipping on it.
All right. Well, also one last thing, everybody. If you want to connect with us or communicate with us or send us a note or a comment or a question, our email is show@twogeeksmic.com. show@twogeeksmic.com. All right. Well, Mike, I think I got everything in for our closing that we need to get in. So I'll let you close this out for the thing. Oh, I guess I better fix that.
All right.
There we go.
Shoot, I was trying to think of a good Marvel tagline for this episode.
Excelsior.
Thank you. Yeah, that penguin had fallen off the iceberg, and So,
Brien was there with the save as always.
Brien with the save always. Well, with that said, as I always say, over and out, and Excelsior.
Aha.
Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then, may the force be with you.